My observation is based on the environment in P Block, which is under the Science and Engineering faculty. P Block is also known as the Cube, an interactive learning device that collaborates with the QED researchers to build a database covering science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. People can play and interact with the digital screen while learning. This attracts students and outsiders to come. The space consists of different functions and facilities, which provides flexible space to satisfy individual users or group. When you enter P block, you can see the cube placed in the middle of the space. That can be considered as a landmark of the building. Then there is a seating area with sofa and coffee table next to the entrance. After that, there are two paths. One leads to the right side of the building, one leads to the left. On the left, there are four booths with table and couch. The right guides to the computer hub with computers and seats. The group meeting room are placed at the back, providing tables and chairs with electronic devices in the room. There is no sign to direct specific activities, but the space provides a lot of clues and flexibilities that allow perceivers to do different activities. During the observation on 9th August, 6 p.m., the blinds were lowered to cover half of the windows. A guy with cap sat at the corner and started to scroll his phone. Later on, a woman chose to sit at the opposite corner. Then she took out her laptop and started focusing her work in a coffee table. After that, a couple came in and sat at the couch. The guy in cap immediately put the bag in his lap and back to his phone. The couple placed their bags at the edges of the couch, between them and the guy in cap. They were staring at the iPad that the man was holding. After a while, the man pulled his nearest chair towards him and used it at a table that placed the iPad on the chair. The last man came in wearing suit, took the seat in the middle of the space. Then he quickly took out his iPad, placed it on the coffee table, and threw his bag between him and the woman at the corner. Other people mentioned had kept a certain distance with each other. As shown in the image, the woman who happens to be the eldest female in the space kept the longest distance to others, while the younger users, the distance was quite short between them. This brings up the relationship between age and privacy. It is believed that personal space gets bigger as we grow older. Besides from age, gender also matters. The distance between males are usually bigger than females. Next, I want to talk about affordance. We perceive affordance and understand the opportunities of the space with direct clues. The couple used the chair as a support for their iPad, since they perceive the horizontal surface of the chair that can be functioned as a table. Then a few bags can be also spotted in the image. They can be considered as a marker for their personal space. The action of placing markers is to indicate your territory and avoid invasion of personal space by others. During the 17th of August, Saturday morning, there were few visits in P block and interaction occurred with the queue. There were a family visiting the space. A kid ran in with excitement and stared at the screen. The mother followed up and taught the kid how to interact and explore with the screen patiently. The father stood behind the baby stroller and focused with his phone. Later, the mom suddenly asked the dad for something and the dad started to search his bag. The dad pulled out a black jacket and a tiny yellow jumper, and the mom wore it on for the kid and herself. After the family left, a man walked in with a backpack, which I assume is a student, stopped in front of the screen, and had a few touches and kept walking to the stairs. This observation interprets the theory of collective properties. People tend to draw attention to the environment when they create perceptual conflict, including novelty, incongruity, complexity, and surprise. So the perceivers, the family and students, arouse interest by the cube and have different intentions. The cube, previously slide described it, is a new device that with a variety of unexpected elements. That means it's a mixture of novelty, complexity, and a little bit of surprise. That explains why mom and kid were so intrigued by the device. For the dad, I observed that he was quite tired that day. The person's attitudes will affect the way that he perceives the environment. I believe that the reason that wasn't injured was because of his tiredness. For the student, I assume that he already knew the cube, but he's still intrigued by the novelty of it since the content has changed from time to time. The booth seating is located at the left side as shown in the plan. My observation was conducted on the 9th of August, 5:30 p.m. There was a law conference held in the front of the cube, which was quite crowded. The other space is quite empty, but I can still spot a few people using the space. There are 4 booths in general. However, there were only 2 being used and both are individual users. They were facing the same direction, the opposite side of the entrance and seating at the corner. The first booth was used by a girl. She was writing notes from a bunch of papers. She placed her bag on the couch just right next to her and the zipper facing herself. She placed her bag she was distracted by the conference noise from time to time. The second booth was used by a guy, working with his laptop, pen, and paper. He placed his backpack behind his laptop on the table with the opening facing himself. He was really focused with his work and not distracted by the conference. He was wearing a headphone and seems like he couldn't hear the noise from the surroundings. It is quite interesting to see the different reaction in such a similar case. The concept environmental numbness popped in my mind. We sometimes will be lack of awareness of our surroundings, even when they cause some discomfort. For the guy with his headphone on, he was absorbed into his work and paid less attention to the surroundings. However, the girl failed to focus at her work and being distracted by the noise from the crowd. Therefore, group work were set at the back of the space. They are numbered from 44 to 47. 44 and 07 are facing the entrance, which have 2 tables and 6 chairs, allow bigger group to fit in, while 45 and 06 are facing the back, which provides 1 table and 4 chairs each. In the 8th of August, around 2, a girl walked in and searching for a spot to do her work. She first glanced at 46, and there were some food packaging leftovers. Then she checked the room 45 was clean. Then she entered the room and placed her bag on the chair next to her. The girl quickly analyzed and did a judgment of not using the room 46 with her perception, expectancy, and past experience. For example, she saw the leftover food packaging on the table. Then she knew the room was used for eating. She thought the table might be greasy, the room is smelly, and expected the room has lower comfortability. Traces allow designer to infer how an environment got to be the way it is. The leftover food packaging is a trace for the girl to find out the previous activities in that environment. By applying a proper design framework to change existing environment, I would recommend focusing on the well-being to improve the user experience. Enhancing well-being can help occupant to focus of attention and energy on the task. The existing seating space is too concentrated and lack of flexibility. Bean bags are used to replace some of the chairs to increase flexibility. The existing environment is frequently used by individuals or couples, so the large coffee tables and chairs can be removed from the space to enlarge the circulation and the personal space. Columns and divider can be installed to increase privacy. Any object existed in the shared interior space can help people divide space perceptually. The users tend to keep far distant from others, so by adding columns that can act as a space divider to create more private space in general. Cushions can replace chairs in order to increase flexibility. The cushion gives clue to users a perception of a seating area. Thank you.